Well, heading back out for another day, maybe 2 days. As you can see, it's been a little bit wet, so it's been one of the worst springs ever. Rain just day after day after day. It's been off and on today, but into the later evening and night it's going to be finally dry, and tomorrow should be dry, although cloudy and overcast and kind of this steel gray. It's at least won't be raining, so looking forward to getting back out, getting a fire going, just sitting there and maybe having a couple of decent beers and just sharpen the axe and tune out for a little bit. See you guys in a few minutes.
I wonder if you can eat the little, if I could find some brand new ones, these little heads that grow off these sword ferns, or if you got to stay away from the ones on the sword ferns. If anybody knows, leave me a comment. I always thought maybe you could eat the brand new growth when they were still young and tender and all the way curled up. I'm not sure about this variety. These aren't fiddlehead ferns, these are sword ferns. Looks like some good old cedar in that stump over there. Oh, wow. Looks like everything is still good here. Stuff fell off, but there's been a lot of winds and stuff. The cedar stuff's falling apart. Probably take some off there for tonight. Get the fire going, it's wet as hell. Camp looks good though. The old tripod's still here, although I'm not gonna do a tripod tarp shelter tonight. I'm gonna do a hammock. And I'm gonna hang it between that tree and that tree right there. Right in front of the fire. Hopefully get a low hot cedar fire going. Okay, so I got it partially up. I got the tarp, overhead tarp here, and then this end's gonna come out like this and attach to this side of the wall over here, and then I'll fix the slope on the back. This part of the tarp will just attach to this tree here, and then between these two right here is where the hammock will go. And then oh, check this out. So that's why the stuff had fallen down on the inside of the wall. This little tree here came out of the ground, and came right down on the wall and snapped a couple other things. I'm gonna take part of the end off, but I think as long as it's holding and stable, I'm gonna leave all this shit down like this because it looks nice and wild out here. Just helps to not only camouflage the camp a little bit, but you know, make it appear as if we haven't been here as often as we have too. Just to discourage maybe people from coming in here and raising hell. Although it's evident people have been around this area grabbing cedar and stuff. They've been really respectful to the camp, which has been real nice. So evidently they don't have much interest in trashing our stuff. All right, so got the overhead tarp up and pretty much taken care of. I need to fix the pitch on a couple little areas, but basically this is it. I don't need much behind me since I'm doing the hammock this time. I may put the tripod underneath here to prop it up. I don't know, we'll see. It's gonna be fine. I'm double tarped basically, so even if something comes from the sides, you know, it'll be all right. So for gear, I have this little sil nylon rain fly. I know it's kind of oh, I don't know, redundant on the tarps, but the fact is I didn't want to bring this one too close to the top of the fire, you know, in case I had to have it raging going. I could bring it forward a little bit, but having this tighter in and, you know, pitched way down like storm pitched at night's going to keep me a lot warmer. So I got that. That's from Infinity, which is just awesome. I love it. And then the double nest hammock. And then for the sleep system, I brought along so it was kind of a choice between what I was going to fit in the pack this time, whether I was going to bring the bivy or that Ember 2 underquilt. And I decided on the bivy instead, just because it's probably going to be a little bit damp out here, and I have a down bag with me. It's nice to have that bivy. Holds in a little heat too. It's not so bad. I've done it tons of times even before I had that underquilt. In the blue pack there is the Kelty Lightyear 20, and then I do have the Thermalite Reactor, the flash pad, and then I got some other clothes here. So I've got a sweatshirt, you know, a hat for night, some gloves if necessary, and some big old socks to sleep in. And got an extra tarp here just in case. There's my sit pad right there for hanging out on the bucket, as well as I let a little air out of that baby and fold it in half. That's also my pillow at night. I got a cook kit in here we'll deal with. And gosh, I got the Condor axe. Oh, it's my first trip out with the new Schrade bushcraft knife too. So that'll be kind of fun to play around with this time. And I didn't bring the chainsaw or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, it was just me coming this time, and I didn't want to carry a bunch of extra bullshit. So brought the old Fisker saw, and I'll tell you what, man, if you want a saw that gets some work done, that pruning saw is badass. It is great. And there is a little bit of wood here. Some of this stuff is drying out, not so bad. Unfortunately, it looks like my cedar is a little bit damp. But as you can see, some old cedar stumps here. I have some cedar to work on here. You know, this baby over here, and a couple of these, there'll be some dry stuff inside there, and I'll be able to shave and get that going a little bit later. Right now, it's nice. It's starting to get a little later into the spring. It'll be lighter for a greater period of time tonight, so I don't have to get the fire going right away. I didn't bring a pocket rocket stove or anything like that, so I will need the fire to eat anything hot, but you know, whatever, I'll get it going later on. But that's what we got so far, and that's what we got for gear. So it's just about time for a beer here pretty soon. Stay tuned. All right, sleep system check. So everything is inside the bivy, including the sleeping pad. So I do this not only because it has an R value of about 2.5. Look, not that big, right? But if it's inside with me, it's working for me even better than it is, you know, if it's underneath, right? So the bivy will hold in all that heat and the sleeping bag in there, and then the reactor inside of that. Another cool thing about having the pad on the inside here is I can twist and turn and move around inside my bag, inside this bivvy, and I'll slip around on top of this pad, but I'll always be on it because it's inside my bivvy, right? If it was under the bivvy and I was twisting and moving around and moving my legs and stuff, the pad's gonna flip up on the side of me. It's gonna be all jacked around, right? And so it's not going to stay under me all night. So with everything inside the bivvy, I'm all totally self-contained no matter how much I move around. And out here, I tend to move around quite a bit. So there we go. So, I'm getting a little sweaty, so I'm just going to take a break and hang out for a minute. Got some wood cut down here, and just, I don't know, it's not the driest stuff in the world. It's not super wet either. And then I got a fire lay going. And over here, though, in the old pile, there's a decent amount of dry stuff in there. This is a little damp, but I have some slabs, or some, yeah, I don't know, not really as wide as the slabs we had before, but some planks over here that are nice and dry that were covered up. They're gonna work really well, so gonna probably get this fire going pretty soon. Although, I think it might be time for a beer too. So, oh yeah. Brought a few hams out. Ah, there's a fucking mosquito on my hand. Bastard. There are already way more mosquitoes than I would have thought at this time. Way more than I would have wanted. Like, absolutely. That's the price of being out here. I don't know, as cold as it is at night though, and as damp as it is right now. I mean, it's not raining, but wet as hell. Little fuckers are out ready for blood, man. Oh, okay, yeah. I can't tell you how much that hits the spot. After a few super busy weeks at work and busting ass, kind of looking forward to getting out here, man, this really is nice. Fire not going right now. There's no rain. I got nothing to do but kick back, have a couple beers. I actually wish I would have brought a few more. It's just me out this time, so without my buddy out here, I usually don't really drink a whole lot of beer. I don't want to be, you know, too impaired if something goes sideways. But nice to enjoy a couple. I brought a few really nice ones too for a little review tonight and tomorrow, and tomorrow night if I decide to stay a second night. I have enough stuff. Certainly got the gear for it, so I don't know. I'll think about it. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I brought out one I'll bring you back when it's fine. Tinder tubes that I made. It's stuffed with dryer lint and some small pieces of fat wood and some candle wax. And I'm thinking this will probably burn for a couple of minutes. I might even be able to get this going with a ferro rod with that dryer lint in there. I remember one time I had to get a candle going with dryer lint and a ferro rod because my strike anywhere matches wouldn't strike anywhere. In fact, they didn't strike for shit, so it was so wet. So I'm gonna stuff this in here one-handed. Is real lovely. I gotta invest in some sort of a phone tripod or better camera, and then strike that guy up and let it go. I'm gonna pile some more small kindling on there. So these planks over here are pretty dry, and they're coming down to some really nice dry stuff. And I'm just gonna stack that up TP style, and then I've got just kind of a cross-hatched fire lay underneath, smaller, larger, larger, and then on the bottom just some punky wet cedar stuff. When it finally gets down there, that should be pretty dry and keep it off the ground. Found a couple times out here, finally get the fire going a little bit, but you burn down so far that it sucks all the moisture out and it kills your goddamn fire, and you lose 3 hours of work. You got to start over. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna load this up and I'll bring you back and we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. Kind of loaded up with wood here. I brought out a secret weapon too. There's some fat wood here from the other camp, from the last video from Coyote Creek. And I got some in the bucket too, but I threw a few in there as for an insurance policy. We'll see how it goes. I mean, this may not even work all the way, and I'm probably going to have to baby this thing. God damn, I want to get this going just so the fucking mosquitoes go away. And I don't know, we'll see. So let's light this guy up and see how she takes off. I don't know. I mean, this is a total experiment. I don't know if it's packed too tightly in there. Yeah, that dryer lint's really not going up. I might have it packed too tight inside the tube. Interesting. I want to blow this out for a second. Just see if I can get that going better. Oh, I really want to test out this theory on this shit. There's lint, layers of lint, wax, small sticks of fat wood that kind of run up and down the length of the paper tube there. Go baby, come on. Moisture's probably already getting to the damn lint. Well, I don't know. Let's see what happens. There she goes. Come on. Yeah, man. This is kind of how it is out here. Like you don't catch a break. Yeah, lint's not really catching on. I wonder if it's going to get to some wax, or probably going to have to rethink them a little bit. I don't think the idea is too badly. I wonder if I could like split it open a little bit, make it work a little bit better. Because I mean, the idea of the components themselves separately is pretty sound. You can see just barely a little bit of flame in there. She's not really. Nah, not really doing what I thought I would. All right, well, I'm going to mess with this for a little bit, and I don't know, I should have just set up the GoPro and went for it, because right after I turned it off, so the tinder tube went out. I pulled some of the dryer lint out there, and I lit the dryer, so I took a little tiny piece of this fat wood here, just shaved it real down real small, and lit it on fire and stuck it in there next to that tube, and yeah, there's no way you'll see it. The tube is still kind of burning in there, but I had this thing obviously prepared well enough with the shavings that it took off and went. So that, man, the cedar is just the ticket out here. It is absolutely the saving grace, man. If you tried to burn this balsam fir or the hemlock or the alder out here, you'd be effed. This stuff is just, I mean, you can hear it crackling away, man. It's primo. But anyway, I got to feed some larger stuff in here. I don't want it to go out. I should break out the GoPro and just set it over on the frickin' stump and let it go. It's kind of more fun to narrate though too and talk about stuff. I don't know. I mean, whatever. But so far, I mean, there she is, looking good. I'm happy as hell to have a fire in here. The glow is real nice. I don't think it's too close to the tarp. Nice and sheltered in here, especially with the way the hammock is set up like this in back. I mean, it's blocking any kind of wind and holding in a lot of the heat. If I can keep that halfway smoldering at night tonight and just kind of toss some chunks on here and there from the hammock, might be the best night I've ever had out here. Anyway, oh shit, it's collapsing. I gotta go. Fire seems to be taking care of itself fairly well. And got some water heating up here for some food, but I figure this is probably a good time to talk about some beer, right? I mean, this is beer in the woods after all. So today I have some, oh, I love how it's backwards on this part of the camera. That sucks ass. Anyway, this is Evil Twin Brewing. This is the Sunshine Slacker. They call it a session IPA. Here's the camp with the fire going. I know it doesn't look like it too much on camera, but it's still very light out. About 8:07 right now. Let me put it up toward the sky here, you can see. Boy, I'll tell you what, if we didn't have clouds, it'd be a hell of an evening. walk around a little bit out here. These are dark woods, that's for damn sure. But it's really light. Nice change to be out here. It isn't dark at 5, 6 o'clock. Raining, just pissing wet. And the forest floor is starting to grow in. Starting to get leaves on all the alders. The vine maples now. Check out some of these guys here. Hope this is going to turn out. It might be a little bit grainy because it's darker, but everything's finally starting to fill in. Been a long, wet-ass spring. There's the old original cedar stump we used to hack on here. It's mostly collapsed now. Look at all those slabs though. God almighty, got years worth of cedar in there. A great little camp. No rain, little stuff coming out of the trees, but nothing really to speak of. Can't really see the fire at all from around camp. That screen there and the wall on the other side, doing a hell of a job. Nice and sheltered in here. Fire's going great. Oh man. Nice to be out here relaxing a little bit. All right, so tonight is gonna be some Corby. I don't know if you guys have had this or not. It's a pretty well-known Doppelbock, which is a dark German lager, Bavarian actually. In this case, this is made by Weinsteffen. This is absolutely unbelievable stuff. Yes, it's pretty boozy. It's about 7.5, 7.4. Man, it's so chocolatey, malty, very smooth. Finishes just a little bit sweet and lingering. Perfect dark brown color with a rocky dark brown head on top. Amazing, amazing beer. So let me switch the camera here and we'll talk about Doppelbock a little bit. Thanks for joining me out here. Beer in the woods. Cheers, guys. Holy fucking shit. Cheers, guys. So sorry about the lighting. So at the end of that beer video, there was a fucking wolf right by camp, like right behind camp, going fucking louder than shit with me talking about the beer and everything right there. So I popped off a few shots. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's still around, if it's still like walking around, watching. I don't know if it took off. This guys.